In my original video, I briefly touched on what brought me to art and how I started painting. In 2016, I was in a car accident, which resulted in me becoming an above-the-knee amputee, along with a laundry list of other things that I'll leave out for the sake of time. In that accident, I lost my leg, had 2 crushed lungs, fractured my pelvis. 80% of my body was road rash to the point where the doctors had to treat me as a burn victim. Prior to my accident, I had no real idea of art. I used to kind of draw when I was younger. And now looking back at it, it was like gestural, abstract drawings. But back then I didn't know what that was. Besides that though, I didn't know anything about art and I didn't really do anything with art. After my accident, I just picked up a paintbrush, I started painting. I started on smaller canvases. Over time, I scaled up and started getting larger and larger and larger with bigger pieces, to the point where I'm at now, which is unstretched canvases that typically range between 8 feet to 7 feet tall. I find it a bit freeing to paint on unstretched canvas that's attached to the wall. My brush strokes onto the wall, it's not something that I do consciously. It's something that I've been doing for years. And I didn't even know I didn't really notice it until someone pointed it out to me, like, hey, why do you continue to paint off onto the wall? And I have no idea. It just feels natural for me to finish out my brush strokes. So that's why you may see whenever I take a painting down, or even when a painting's up, you can still see that there's a lot of remnants of a painting on the wall itself. I'm still on this series of creating pieces with a lot of color. I've decided to call the series Starved. This is the 3rd installment to that series. I don't really have a title for it. It's just going to be title number 3. The first one, obviously, title number 1. Title number 2 for the second one. Number 2 has already been sold. And I guess that's something I can kind of briefly touch on as well. I didn't start trying to sell my artwork until really this year. And it wasn't until maybe February of this year when I started to pursue trying to sell my art. I've been painting now for 7 years. And again, I just painted, would put it away. I didn't think anything of it. I didn't think that my artwork was even good enough to sell. I didn't think I could make money off of it. I would just paint and put it away. No big deal. Move on to something else. It wasn't until I walked into a gallery for the first time and I saw artwork in person this year that made everything kind of click for me. I was like, okay, like I understand now. I see what this is about. I can see the effect that it's giving people, like it gave me. Like I felt what the artist was trying to convey. In some pieces, not all, but in some pieces I could feel what the artist was trying to convey. And when I look at my pieces, I can honestly see what I was feeling that day and the mood that I was in. For me, whenever I paint, I'm not very good at verbalizing my emotions. All of my emotions kind of come out onto the canvas. I can see what I was feeling. I can see the mood that I was in. People ask me what I'm trying to convey with my paintings or what I'm trying to display. And really, it's just about emotion. If you can feel something in my paintings, it's amazing. That's not necessarily my goal. I don't really have a goal with my paintings. I know it's kind of cliche to say, but I really don't. I paint for myself, and then whatever comes out of that, comes out of that. But for me, if someone can look at one of my pieces and just get something from it, whether it be an emotion, a feeling, I kind of leave it up to the viewer's discretion to make out what it is. I don't lead with titles. A lot of my artwork is titled with dates, and those dates that I title them are surrounding my accident. So it's 05/27/16, that's the date of my accident, but you may see a title that's 00/05/01, and that's just me using those dates. I feel like that's me kind of paying homage back to what brought me into painting in the first place, which was my accident. Without my accident, I probably would still be managing restaurants and never picked up a paintbrush or never started painting. So It's a way that I can pay homage back to that, what brought me into painting. I spent a lot of time over the past couple days building my website, which was difficult. I'm not a website developer. I don't know any of that stuff, so this is all brand new for me. The selling end of my artwork is brand new for me. Creating a YouTube channel is brand new for me. Filming, editing, all that stuff. This is all brand new. So the past couple of days have been rough as far as putting my website together, but it is available. There'll be a link in my YouTube channel for that as well. Obviously, all my paintings are for sale. I would like to sell them. If anybody's interested, feel free to shoot me a message on Instagram if it's not on my website. If you see something on my Instagram that you like that's not on my website, or if you see a painting that I've done in one of the videos that's not on my website and you're interested, feel free to shoot me a message on YouTube, Instagram, whatever it may be. All of those links are in my YouTube bio. It took me a while to want to sell my art. I had a connection with it. I didn't really feel comfortable selling it. It was like I was selling a piece of myself. Again, because when I look at my paintings, I can see what I was feeling that day or what emotions I was going through when I was painting. So I have a connection with them. I think once I sent out my first couple pieces to a gallery and they were gone for a substantial amount of time, and me knowing that they could be sold solidified that and made it okay with me selling them. Had I not done that, had I not taken that step, I don't think that I would be in a position to where I'm comfortable selling my pieces. I think everyone gets into art for different reasons. Everyone has their own agendas with it. For me, it was just a place where I could paint and not think. And now it's a place where I can paint and not think and potentially make money off of, which is insane to say the least. I never thought I'd be in a position to sell my paintings. Again, I never looked at them as something that I could even sell in the first place. I didn't think my artwork was good enough to sell. So to be in a position where I'm able to sell them and people are asking to buy them is insane to me. It blows my mind. The fact that I have even 100 views on a video that I post to YouTube blows my mind. I know a lot of people don't stick around for that, and that's cool, but the fact that people even click on it and check it out, it's amazing to me. I had a few people message me and say that they were inspired by me and that they wanted to create art as well, and they just didn't have the time, or they were afraid. All I gotta say to that is, if you want to create, if you want to paint, just paint, and don't worry about what other people think of your paintings. Don't worry about if the painting's gonna turn out well or not. Just paint, create, and I promise you, you'll feel 10 times better after you're done. But just get it out there, like whether it be painting, drawing, whatever it is that you want to do, whatever you're into, just start. And then once you start, that's the easiest point. Once you start something, it's easier to continue to go back to it and do it over again. This piece was, again, challenging because I'm going back into color, kind of full blown here. So ideas that I'm trying to do, there's a lot of things that I'm trying to work out with using color again. I was in monochromatic state for a long time where I was only painting with blacks, whites, and grays. So color is a challenge, but it's a good challenge. And it's still not all connecting just yet, but the pieces as I'm continuing are evolving, which is awesome to see. I could look at my first part of this series to the third piece now, and I could see that there has been a massive difference in my techniques that I've applied and just my color theory in general. I've tried to keep the palette somewhat similar to the first painting because it is a series. I don't want to change it too much. I can see that I'm evolving, which is cool. That's a cool thing to see as an artist, especially in such a short amount of time. And the only reason I think that is because I've been painting for so long, I just haven't been painting with color. So it's just like me applying new techniques to this palette. That's all it is. I'm using the same techniques I did in my other paintings, just with a new palette. And manipulating those colors and learning color theory and getting into that more is going to be cool to see how that evolves and turns out over time. But my overall advice for anybody that's thinking about creating art or getting into art is just do it. Just start. The rest of it will come. Don't get into it if you're just trying to make money off of it. Don't get into it if you think that it's something that's going to get you a lot of attention or malicious intent behind what you're doing. Then don't do it. If you're doing it for yourself because you want to do it and you want to express yourself and you want to be creative, then I'm all for it. Go for it. But just let it come to you, because it will. It'll come to you over time. And just stick with it like anything else. It's difficult. It's frustrating. But if you stick it out, it is beautiful. At some point in your journey, you will start to look at your art and think, okay, like I'm doing all right. This is good.